welcome to the Dietary Factor, a show that brings you information about health and lifestyle. Please keep it here for more information, more learnings. Ensure you like, ensure you subscribe for more information. My name is Wyglad Mary, and today we are going to talk about a very, very common issue, which is called constipation. Very many people have been constipated one time or another. A number of people have suffered from constipation here and there. So today, let's tackle this elephant. What is constipation, in other words? A simple definition. Constipation is having difficulty in passing your bowel movement. Or you could call it, some people define it in a way that if you only have 3 bowel movements in a week, you are declared to be constipated, because you have only 3 bowel movements in a week. I know bowel movement habits are different. Some people have 2 bowel movements in a day, some have only 1 bowel movement in a day, but if you have less than 3 bowel movements in a week, you are constipated. If you're having constipation, just know you are not alone. If you're watching this video probably because you're having constipation, you are not alone. So let's dive in to get to understand, how does constipation come? What exactly is this constipation? Briefly, let's go back to a brief thing about the science. So now, when you talk about food from the mouth down through the digestive tract. So what happens is nutrients are absorbed as the food moves down the digestive tract. But now when food moves from the small intestine to the large intestine, that is food that has been partially absorbed, or we call it the waste, the food that's not needed by the body anymore. So it goes into the large intestine, which is gotten out of our bodies as bowel movement or the waste. There is difficulty in getting out this waste. Why? Because when that waste is in the large intestine, what happens is water is absorbed away from that bowel movement. So in other words, the longer it stays there, the harder it will be to get out. Why? Because water has been absorbed away from it. So in other words, it is harder and it may be really painful. And some people may even have blood coming out when they are trying to push out a bowel movement. So there are quite a number of issues that come with constipation. For example, there can be severe issues that may even need surgery. So that's why it's very important to prevent. In one of the previous videos, we talked about how nutrition is a preventative means, or having the right foods is a preventative means. So one of the things that it can prevent us from is constipation. You can prevent constipation from happening. However, there are quite a number of causes of constipation, some which I can't really address here at the Dietary Factor. Some are issues like changing your daily routine. So if you're always changing your daily routine, you may have a constipation issue if you get to notice. For example, if you work a night shift, if you're always a night shifter, or you work during shift, sometimes you work night shift, sometimes you work day shift, you have a constipation issue. If you're to notice at some point, you feel that there is constipation. Why? Because of changes in your usual routine, because the body is known to run a particular routine. So if you change it, you may have constipation issues. Also, if you change on your dieting, for example, if you're always used to eating breakfast at 7, lunch at 1, probably you take your dinner at 6, then you change that, then probably you're eating breakfast now at 10, probably you're having lunch now at 2, or you're having it at midday. Changes in your eating can also cause constipation. So the changes in your routine, I may not really address it here, but it's one of the causes of constipation. Now, another cause that I will talk about is our dieting, what we eat. So if you're eating a lot of processed food, in one of the videos earlier, we talked about how when you process food, it removes some nutrients, or it removes quite a number of things from the food as it is going through processing. So that is probably a gap that food scientists and nutrition can work hand in hand to ensure that the food that they are processing can come out wholesome in a way. So that's quite something that we can take up in both the nutrition and food science field. So now, when food is processed, you may take out most of the ingredients, and most of the nutrients that can be taken out are fiber. So that's why food that is processed is usually low in fiber and high in these other things, but the fiber is usually low. It's high in saturated fat, fiber is low. And when you have less fiber in our food, we may get constipated. Another food we can talk about, gluten-rich foods. When you eat gluten foods and you have a celiac disease, everyone with celiac disease, they have an issue with gluten. So if you incorporate gluten in your diet when you've been having celiac disease, you're most likely to get constipated. So it's advisable, if you have celiac disease, refrain from gluten-rich foods. Gluten-rich foods, you look at things like wheat, engano, wheat flour, that's engano in Uganda. You look at things like chapatis, mandazis. So if you have celiac disease, it's better if you refrain from them. If not, you will be constipated. Another food that I could talk about is milk. If you notice, children, when they are exposed to cow milk, they have a lot of constipation. As I said, when it comes to breastfeeding and issues to do with milk, I will not talk about them now. We shall talk about them in another series or in another episode. However, in case you want information about it urgently right now, please go to breastfeedinguganda.com. You'll get any information to deal with breast milk or to deal with breastfeeding. But one thing you should know is cow milk is usually associated with constipation to children. Consuming less fiber foods. When you have less fiber foods in your diet, you are more likely to get constipated. Why? It is because fiber in itself is a natural laxative. I know they are artificial laxatives. You can go to the hospital and they give you a laxative, a pharmacy and they give you a laxative that can help you to pass out your stool. However, they are natural laxatives and those are fiber. Now, what is fiber? I love talking about fiber because it's very rich. So now, fiber is a carbohydrate. Just like how you see fructose, lactose, sucrose, all those are carbohydrates. But now, fiber as well is a carbohydrate as well as starch. But now when you look at things like starch, fiber, these are complex carbohydrates. Now today we are zeroing down specifically to fiber. Unlike other carbohydrates are broken down in your body. When you take in carbs, for example fruits, which are rich in fructose, that fructose will be broken down in your body. It will be converted into sugars in your body. But when you look at fiber is not broken down in your body. It is not broken down. So what happens usually is this fiber will remain in the food that goes down to your large intestines. Remember we talked about how the movement of food from the mouth into the large intestine. So we shall have that fiber going way down to the large intestines. However, this fiber is distributed into two types of fiber. We have the soluble fiber and the insoluble fiber. So what happens with the soluble fiber? So the soluble fiber, it helps in absorption of water. So remember we said when the waste is in the large intestine, water is usually absorbed out of it, making your stool to be hard and dry. But when you have fiber in it, fiber ensures it absorbs what? Water. And now if water is being absorbed into your stool, meaning it will be easy to pass out and it will be softer compared to when there is no fiber at all. Another fiber is insoluble fiber. So insoluble fiber, still it will go way down in the digestive tract to your big or your large intestine. So when the fiber is in the large intestine, this insoluble fiber, for it increases the bulk of your stool, making it easier to pass out. When it's bulky, it is easier to pass out than when it is light. It is very, very important to add fiber in your diet. Why? It will help you to pass out stool easier and it will be you will not have constipation. In other words, you're preventing constipation. Now, fiber-rich foods, you may ask yourself, which foods are rich in fiber? Now, there are quite a number of fiber-rich foods that you can add into your diet to prevent constipation. For example, you can add in vegetables. Vegetables are rich in fiber. You can have things like broccoli. Broccoli is, as I told you, broccoli is a nutrient-rich food. Another vegetable you can add into your diet is carrots. You can also add legumes. Legumes are rich dietary fiber-rich foods. The most common ones in Uganda are beans. You have peas, cowpeas. Those are legumes that can help you with rich sources of dietary fiber. Now, another source of dietary fiber are fruits. Fruits are good sources of dietary fiber. For example, apples. However, when you're eating your apple, it is advised to eat your apple with the cover. Some people want to remove the peeling. It's good to have the peeling on so that you can get your dietary fiber in its fullarity or in its fullness. So, apples are good sources of dietary fiber. When you look at pawpaws, pawpaws are a good source of dietary fiber. And another thing that I love about pawpaws is they're not only rich in dietary fiber, but they are also rich in water, or they are succulent. So in other words, it will really help you pass out stool. Remember we talked about how dietary fiber absorbs water. The soluble dietary fiber absorbs water, making your stool easy to pass out. So now pawpaws contains a saturation of water. It also has dietary fiber. Not only pawpaws are good, they help you have good cholesterol levels. They're also good for your eyes. So you can incorporate pawpaws into your diet to ensure that you have easy stool passing out. You don't have to suffer with your bowel movements. So one of the causes, as we said, is having low fiber foods. That's how you can be constipated. And one way to combat that is to add fiber into your diet. Another thing that I could talk about is water. We all well know that dehydration is a very, very rampant cause of constipation. When you're hydrated, you have high chances of being constipated. Why? Water is very essential in digestion. It eases the flow of foods way down through your digestive tract. So if you're having less water in your system, your digestive system is suffering, you are straining it. So it is very important to have water, to hydrate. I know some studies show that it is not good to take water as you're eating, but some studies actually advise it. Why? Because remember, it is important during digestion for the movement of food from your mouth through your digestive tract down to your large intestines. So it is very important for you to hydrate. If you are throwing away that bottle, please get that bottle back. Hydrate as often as you can. Hydrate during day. Those who have night shifts, ensure even in your night shifts you're drinking water, because during day shift probably you're not drinking water, you are sleeping. So it is very important to hydrate. The more you hydrate, the more you will enable yourself to have easier stools. Remember, we are preventing constipation. So you are encouraged to drink and hydrate as often as you can. However, a disclaimer, when you're talking about hydration, some people will talk about, I hydrate by drinking tea. You could say that, but however, when you are incorporating caffeine in your teas, caffeine is a dehydrant. In other words, it dehydrates. So if you're incorporating caffeine in your diet, it is not very advisable to have caffeine incorporated in your diet, because at the end of the day you're being dehydrated. So it's important to dehydrate with water. If you can take juices, it's important you dehydrate with juices which have less sugar. Remember, high sugar will again have an effect on your teeth and other health implications. So you moderate on your sugar levels even when you're hydrating with juices. Another way you can prevent constipation, I love this one, is by exercise. Exercise will not only keep you healthy, but exercise will keep your bowels moving. You want to move your bowels easily? Exercise. You will feel it. Just try it out. Exercise and you'll feel your bowels lighter. You will easily move your bowels when you exercise. Why? As you exercise, you are exercising your abdominal muscles. In other words, it will help the movement of food through your digestive tract. So it's important to exercise. Now, those are very simple remedies, but very efficient when it comes to preventing constipation. However, there are very many other causes and very many other implications that may require you to visit a doctor. If you're having severe constipation, please visit your doctor and get to know how you can combat this. However, to prevent it before even you think about cure, you can think about prevention. That is, don't forget to hydrate as often as you can. Don't forget to add fiber into your diet, and don't forget to exercise. When you have these three on board, you will prevent yourself from having constipation. So I hope this bids bye-bye to the days you've been having serious constipation. Ensure you share this with your friends, share this with your family, share this with friends that are close to you so that you can prevent constipation. Be a vehicle for health. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have learned something today. Hope to see you again in the other episodes that are coming forth. Have a lovely week.